to talk about parallel postulate. Given a line, a point, and a point not on the line, there is one and only one line that contains the given point and is parallel to the given line. Okay? So what that's saying is, if you have this point and you have this line, so there's our line L and there's point P, then you can only draw one line through point P that is going to be parallel to line L. There is no other way to draw a line through point P that is going to be parallel to line L. Alright, so let's take a look at our triangle sum theorem. Okay? We are given the fact that angle M, the measure of angle M plus the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 5 all add up to 180 degrees because they create a straight line when we put them all together. Okay? So in this problem, we are given the fact that line L is parallel to line segment AB. And that really should have been labeled. Okay? And so we know that the sum of the measure, well, let's, hold on. Okay, so we know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 4, because if we remember from middle school, that was alternate interior angles. Okay, so hopefully you remember that well enough that if you write AIA, you'll know that's alternate interior angles. Okay, we know angle 3 is congruent to angle 5 for the same reason. Okay, and then we're also given that measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180 degrees. Again, that was given to us. Okay, well, if we know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 4, then we know that the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 4, because congruent angles have equal measure. Okay, and then again, also we know that if angle 3 is congruent to angle 5, then the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 5. Okay, again, congruent angles have equal measure. Remember that congruence is always about the figure. Figures are congruent, but measures, whenever you're talking about measures, they are equal. So the difference between equality and congruence is that equality is dealing with some kind of measurement, some kind of number, where congruence is the figure, it's not a number, okay? And so if we know that the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180 degrees, then we can substitute the measure of angle 1 in for the measure of angle 4, and we can substitute the measure of angle 3 in for the measure of angle 5. So we have measure of angle, that should have an M, 1, 2, and 3 adds up to 180, and we just use substitution for that. So we know that the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. So the sum of the measures, and that goes up there in that blank, the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay? And that, I know you already knew that, but there's just the proof showing why that's true in a very generic form, because we don't have any measurements here. Okay? But we've proven that these are congruent, these are congruent angles, and that they're going to add up to 180. Alright, so now flip your papers over, and let's take a look at the exterior angle theorem. What I want you to do is I want you to use this two-column proof. Here are the fill-ins that you can use to fill in the blanks. And you're going to try to prove that the measure of angle 4 is equal to the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2. So you try this one on your own, and we'll talk about it in class.